Hello, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. I'm super excited about today's topic. We're going to talk about a very controversial statement that a tough job market is not your problem. It's not why you can land a job. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it. I'm starting a new series on here on LinkedIn about imposter syndrome. And this video that I am streaming right now is a part of my new series about. So and we're gonna start with a we're gonna start dive into it right now. So if you are joining my live stream, as always, say hello, say where you're watching me from in network, because listen, when we are experiencing tougher job market, tougher economy, tougher environment where we are not used to, because in tech we used to have a uh, very good environment, right? We used to have the environment where you have your LinkedIn profile, you have your resume somewhere out there, and recruiters are looking for you because there was a such high demand on developers, and especially at the end of 2020 and probably like 2021, um 22, like we had an increase of applications, we have an increase of demand for software developers, right? But right now situation is changing. So like as you are joining me, just say hello. Let's network with each other, let's connect with each other. If you're looking at the chat, if you see people commenting, connect with them, and network with each other. If you are a little shy, you can also react on my videos. So super excited to talk about it today. So um, today we're going to talk about the the tough tech job market and how it might be not the reason you can't land a job. It- so let's let's start with a little history lesson, right? Um, the tech job market, right? In the past, I've been in tech since 2016. I've been in tech since 2016. All right, Blessing is here. Hey, hey, hey. Brian is here. Like, oh, I appreciate all of you coming today. So let's keep your comments coming, keep your greetings coming. I'm super excited to have each and every one here. But let's dive into history lesson a little bit. So in in 2016, right? In 2015, 2016, how was the job market then? Like normally, LinkedIn was not as advanced as it is right now, right? And normally, what would happen back then, if you have a decent, like, or half decent, should I say, resume, half decent LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn was a new thing, LinkedIn was like ramping up, and that was basically enough because the demand was really high. I was in QA, in quality assurance, also very specialized niche. The demand was very high, and companies had more resources. Like then what happened, right? I'm kind of fast forwarding. Then we had global pandemic. Then company would have um, allocated extra resources and extra money for that, and the interest rate was very, very low. So company would company would try to hire as many developers, and also it was a very interesting time. So like a lot of engineering leaders would like to shine and rise as leaders by building team, whether or not the company needed the team, right? And what is happening in now, it's a tougher job market for software developers, and it's tougher because we're not used to it. But it's still not really the reason why some of the software developers can't land a job. Because listen, if the tech jobs were not there, period. If tech was going really down, then it would affect our infrastructures, right? Like our social media sites, our life really would have significant impact on our lives, right? So it's not that the tech is down. It's not that the tech market is absolutely impossible. It's the fact, it's the fact that now you need to change your strategy. Because let's be honest, having a resume, have decent resume, and having a LinkedIn profile, and that's it. And this is not really a strategy. And that was the strategy for many software developers. I have resume, I have LinkedIn profile. And I, back then, all you needed to have is a little bit more years of experience, right? To start with. Like 2.5, 3 years of experience would get you will get you really far in tech industry back then, right? And even if you don't like have executive presence, even if you don't have achievements and stuff like that. But what is going on right now? Right now, the table has shifted in terms of there are more positions available, right? And there are more, or sorry, there are more software developers available on the market. There are positions available, but because we have higher applicant pool, you have to stand out. And also, when the layoff started, right? Maybe a posting about that you've been laid off, right? Without further your value proposition, without further explaining what actually, like how actually people can benefit by hiring you. It was maybe enough, but it's not enough because like you are one of the many. You are one of the many. Because if you scroll on through LinkedIn, you see a lot of posts like that. I'd be laid off. I applied for 100 jobs, yada, 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 yada. And who this situation affected the most? Who in this situation affected the most? Uh, what I am seeing, right, subjectively from my conversation with y'all and um, kind of like also on the market as well, I see a lot of mid-level and senior people. Some mid-level and some senior people were affected by that. Juniors, I'm not talking about juniors because juniors, it's always hard for people who are entering tech to get into tech job market and into tech industry. It was hard before COVID. It was hard during COVID. It was hard right now. It is just harder environment. It's just harder, right? So this is why I'm not focusing necessarily with this data, right, that I'm getting on juniors specifically. This is why I'm um, seeing that mid-level and senior people would tell me that they were looking for a job for a year or for more than 6 months or 8 months, 9 months. So this is what I'm seeing, and this is in unusual for our market. But what is the problem? Why is that? Why is that? It comes down that people don't really show up. People don't really put themselves out there. And why? And I said that I'm going to start uncovering imposter syndrome. And let's uncover this because this is really important. So the way imposter syndrome affects your executive presence and affects your job. So regardless if you recognize it or not, imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Well, if you're not familiar, an imposter syndrome is a psychological condition when a person believes that or is afraid of. It's a form of fear that people will somehow realize that that person is not as talented as they say they were, that that person is not as knowledgeable as they said they were, and that person will lose their position and socioeconomic status because somehow they lied or somehow they misrepresented themselves. That's kind of like book like definition of imposter syndrome. What is happening in reality? It's when people start doubting their abilities. It's when people start doubting their expertise. And it happens with juniors, it happens with mid-level developers, it happens with seniors, it happens to me. And when we have this self-doubting, deep down belief, even if we don't say it out loud, so what happens, our brain chemistry changes and our neurosystem reacts in a certain way and has us behave in a certain way. And this is why we see a lot of people don't communicate their value in their resume. This is why a lot of resumes is more like a list of what they did versus a list of achievements. This is why a lot of resumes sound like I was there, did things, non stuff, but like, what have you achieved? And it was really hard for me to understand for a long time how to communicate my achievements, how to demonstrate quantifiable results in my resume. Because when I had my first resume review, right, like ages ago, a resume writer said, like, you don't have quantifiable results. I like, what does it even mean? Like, I do stuff, and exactly, we look at ourselves like we doers and not problem solvers. We are coders and not solution providers. But we are solution providers. We are problem solvers because of our skill set. Because of our skills, companies make millions because of what we do. We're not just coders. We're not just doers. We're solution providers, and we have tremendous achievements that we don't communicate because we don't think enough of ourselves that we are worthy to communicate that. We are afraid of what people might think. Oh, like my coworkers, like, what if they see my LinkedIn profile and they see how I describe my achievements at the company? I wonder what they're going to think about me. But like, and did I really? Like, but am I really that good? Am I really, like, who cares? I I promise you, like, I have never had a situation when a coworker would reach out to me and I said, like, what the hell did you put on your LinkedIn profile? All of those achievements that you didn't, that you haven't done, which, like, I've done all, like, the achievements that I document on my resume and on my page. That these are true achievements, but never have I ever had that. And I never, like, when I look at my um, or at the people that I may not, I may know of their work, and they communicated their achievements a little bit more elegantly than it actually was. It was never urge of mine to go to that person and say, hey, that little bullet point that you said that you've done it, you never did it, right? So how about you remove that? Or like put them on blast, or like take it, like, I don't do that. Like, I have other things to do, okay? But people think what other people might think of them. And that's like the, like, and number one, right? People start overthinking stuff. Like, oh, but what if my coworkers think that I didn't do it? Or I didn't do it like as well as I described? Who cares? So, uh, and this is the reason why you don't put yourself out there. This is the reason why you don't put yourself out there. So, and you don't communicate your value, you don't communicate your achievements, you don't communicate your dopeness. And as a result of all of that, nobody see you. You're just another layer of developer. You're just another developer who is looking for a job. Like, oh, you want to change a job, but like, so like everybody else, and you might not even be asking for the salary that you deserve because you don't think as highly of yourself. So, and this is how the imposter syndrome affects you. And this is why I I'm like, when I start talking to people, I was really shocked when amazing software developers, amazing iOS developers, amazing web developers, amazing test automation engineers would say, like, I was out of work for 8 months, for 6 months, for 18 months. Like, how is that even possible? And they have the receipts. It's because you don't show up, and it's because you've been working on your stuff. You were doer. You were doing your work. You were coding. You were a coder, and you never share about your achievements. You never built your network. You never put yourself out there. You never stood outside of your comfort zone. And then shit hits the fan, and you have 12 years of experience or more than 5 years of experience. Even if you have 3 to 5 years of experience, this is a good employable experience that you're going to have easier time on the market. But again, because of the sea of applicants, because of the sea of people that are looking for a job, and you sound like everybody else, it's harder for you to land a job. It's harder for you to land your next opportunity. And this, like, this is the problem. This is the problem. And then people start focusing on wrong things, right? People start tracking the amount of layoffs. How many layoffs happen? What companies are laying off? I don't have I don't know linker questions that well. I don't know algorithms and data structures that well. I don't know this. I don't know that. People start focusing on really things that don't matter for their job search, or like they what I've seen, right? I talked to a person, software developer, a wonderful software developer, mid level, strong mid level. That person was targeting junior roles. And I asked why. You have the let's look at the facts and not your feelings, right? You have like 3 years of experience. This is not exactly junior position. I don't care what some of the job descriptions say. Like, this is a solid mid-level role that you can land and work. Or when senior people are lowering their salary expectations because they're so afraid that they're not going to land a job because they're asking market salary. Yes, maybe on the higher end, but it's still market salary. It is still possible. But there there is a thing, such as your executive presence, such as putting yourself out there, such as being different. And this is what helped me. This is what helped me after my layoff, my consistent work, even before the layoff, showing up, showing out, right? Like, without, like, I know that I don't know everything. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that my knowledge might be better and will be better over time, but I gotta put myself out there and show up as an expert. I gotta build publicly whatever I learned privately. I gotta show up my dopeness, right? And this is how this is how I was able to make career moves, transitions from QA engineer to iOS developer. This is how I was able to land a senior position when I thought that was right about time. And I put myself to the test, right? I put myself to the test. I was like, no, Let me test it out. Let me see if the feedback that I'm receiving at one job is actually accurate, or maybe I'm already there. I decided to put myself to the test. But again, like through strategic networking, through strategic uh, marketing, through strategic content, through putting myself out there, I was able to land that. I was able to make that happen, and strong network. So the tough job market is not really your problem. The problem might be way deeper than that. The problem may be that imposter syndrome that you may not even realize that you have. The problem that you don't communicate your value. The problem that you don't embrace your dopeness. The problem that you don't have executive presence. And executive presence starts with your LinkedIn profile, with your resume, with your content. And this is why you don't have content. It's not that you don't know what you say, because you have the experience. You're dope. You're dope as AF. And you have nothing to say because you doubt yourself. Listen, you don't have to sit in front of the camera and create Apple ecosystem from scratch. Okay, you can just talk about technology. You can just talk about your achievements. You can just talk about yourself. You can just talk about your program in life. You can just start sharing opinions about articles. You can just start sharing opinions, what you heard, what you learned, and what you learn in private you build and teach others in what you learn in private. You build and educate others in public, and show up as an expert. Because it's so much easier to show up online and say, hey, I'm learning this, versus, hey, this is how it is done. And it's easier for you to teach when you're just learning, because you just learning, you know exactly how it works. You did your analysis, and you might help and bless somebody. So, if you need help with your executive presence, with communicating your value, with putting yourself out there, click the link in my bio. Schedule a mini coaching session with me, because I really want to help as many developers as possible. I do have a coaching program for software developers, QA engineers, uh, where where I teach software developers how to show up, how to show out, how to attract the right network, how close the technical gaps in technical skills, and imposter syndrome, and something that I'm working with with some of my clients, because it is very prevalent. And in fact, when you are dealing with it by yourself, dealing with it alone, it's very easy to get discouraged, because you need a consistent feedback. You need a constructive feedback and constructive direction. And this is where you're uncovering what is truly missing, or what is false. And if it is missing and you can build on it, and you can close the gap, then it's not missing anymore. Then it's all well. So I invite you to my coaching program. I have 3 spots available. So link is in my bio. T- uh, Click the link, schedule an appointment with me, because I really want to help you. Whether you think it is your technical skills, whether you think it's your experience, whether you think that you are confused and you don't know how to navigate the market, whether you are getting a lot of auto rejection emails, or maybe you want to make career moves and you are scared. because listen, it's a scary time, and a lot of developers, they're ready for the next step, they're now, and they're ready to level up, but like they're not ready to make the move because they rather sit and wait until the market is better. And by the way, market is warming up. Like I see positive changes, I see positive movements, I see like my clients landing jobs. Market is warming up, so that this is a good thing. So this is all I have for you for today. I have a little bit of time for questions and answer for Q and A's. Do you like let me know what questions you might have? Let me know what questions you might have, because this is a very important topic, and I really would like to address the topic. So, like, I know it can be confusing. I know it can be unclear. So, let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if I can answer your questions right now, because I'd rather you get your answers right now so you can keep move forward. And like, you never know. Maybe your neighbor has the same question that you have. So let me know if you have let me know if you have any questions, because if there are no more questions, the next my live stream, I'm going to talk about more about legal questions. Okay, like I'm going to like the harsh truth that mastering legal questions is actually, or mastering just legal questions is actually not bringing you a job. So, but it's a topic for another live stream. So, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for stopping by my live stream. Really, really, really excited to see all of you here. And stay tuned. I will drop the announcement for my live stream soon. And it's most likely going to be on Wednesday, and another my live stream will be on Thursday. So, but stay tuned. I'll talk to you later. Bye, y'all.